In a quiet village nestled deep in the heart of eastern Nigeria, where the river whispered secrets and the trees swayed like they held ancient knowledge, lived a young woman named Grace. She was known across Umuez for her beauty, humility, and kind spirit. Orphaned at a young age, Grace lived with her aging grandmother, who sold palm oil in the village market. Despite her struggles, Grace never complained. Every morning, she would fetch water from the river, help her grandmother cook, and sweep the compound. The villagers loved her, and many men sought her hand in marriage. But Grace always said she would wait for the one her heart truly recognized. One fateful evening, while walking through the forest path after visiting her friend, a strange wind blew. It carried a scent of lilies and something older, something indescribable. That's when she saw him. A tall, handsome man in white stood by the path. His skin glowed like polished bronze, and his voice was calm, deep, and reassuring. "My name is Daniel," he said, his smile warm and mysterious. "I've been searching for you." Grace's heart raced, not out of fear, but wonder. Daniel was unlike anyone she had met. He was respectful, soft-spoken, and seemed to know things about her she'd never shared. Within days, he visited her home with gifts, yam tubers, wrappers, and wine. Grace's grandmother, though confused by how quickly things moved, blessed the union, encouraged by the man's generosity and presence. The traditional wedding happened quietly. Only a handful of people attended. Daniel insisted on keeping it small, saying his people were not from this world, but a far-off town. Grace, swept by emotion and excitement, agreed. But strange things began after the wedding. Daniel never ate with Grace. He disappeared every night, only returning before dawn. He wouldn't touch holy water or allow Grace to take him near the village church. His eyes, once soft, sometimes turned distant and hollow, especially on moonlit nights. Then one night, Grace woke up and found Daniel standing in the corner of their room, unmoving, staring at the wall. When she called out to him, he didn't answer. The candle flickered, and in its light, she saw his feet weren't touching the ground. Terrified, she ran to her grandmother and begged for help. The old woman took her to the village priest, who listened quietly and then asked to see Daniel. But Daniel was gone. The hut where they stayed was cold and empty. A search revealed no footprints, no signs of life, only a wedding ring on the floor and a faded photograph of a man who looked exactly like Daniel. The priest's face paled. "This man died in 1965. He drowned in the river during his wedding night," he whispered. Grace collapsed. The villagers gathered, prayers were said, and a cleansing was done. But Grace never saw Daniel again. She later learned that sometimes spirits, trapped by unfulfilled desires, roam the earth, searching for what they lost. Grace moved on with her life. She never remarried. Every year, on the anniversary of her wedding, she leaves white lilies by the river. Sometimes, a soft breeze carries back that familiar scent. Moral lesson: not every kind gesture or beautiful face is from the living. Be spiritually alert. What's hidden beneath charm may be more dangerous than what you fear.